everybody.
Hi, I'm Scarlett.
And I'm Christina.
And today we're going to be talking about The Baby-Sitters Club.
Now, most of you have probably already read every single Baby-Sitters Club book, but we have not. We had never read a single Baby-Sitters Club book. So, with the new Netflix show coming out, we decided to buy the Scholastic Retro set and read the first 6 books from the series.
We also watched all 10 episodes of the Netflix show, and in this video we're just going to be going through our thoughts and reactions and kind of comparing the books to the TV show.
Let's get started. So, I think that we really missed out. I think that this would have been a great series to read as a child. We read A Through Z Mysteries, we read The Magic Tree House, Junie B. Jones, Nancy Drew, but we never read this, and I just feel like the girls go through so many things in the book that I just feel like we could have gained more from these books than from
the ones we read.
Yeah.
For sure. I agree. We see these girls going through regular problems, and I think I would have gained a lot from that growing up.
Yeah, so for example, Christy, she was the leader of, I guess, the Baby-Sitters Club. She made it up. She was one of 4 kids. 3 of her siblings were boys. Her mom was a single mom. Her dad never called, never visited. And that was something that, like, we kind of got to know in the books. If it was worth mentioning, I feel like the character really felt her dad's absence and was really hurt by her dad's absence.
Also, they did a good job in illustrating her family dynamic. Like, since her mom was always out working, her and her siblings had to take turns watching David Michael, their little brother. Her mom went through a lot to even try to find someone to take care of David Michael because she didn't want her kids to miss out
on being kids. And then we also see with Claudia how, okay, yeah, she has both her parents, but there's this problem with I'm not good enough in the way that they want me to be good enough.
Or the way that she thinks they want her to.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And her relationship with her grandmother, we see that they really get along, and I feel like that's something good to have in a book where, you know, you don't just have to connect with your friends, like you can connect with your family, talk to them.
It's a great example, for sure.
Yeah. And then we have Marianne, whose mother died, and it's like, whoa, am I in Disney? So her mom died, and her dad is controlling to the max. And, like, okay, we get where her dad was coming from. Like, it's the only thing he has.
For sure.
But she wasn't allowed to do anything.
It's definitely supposed to show, like, the trauma of losing a mother and everything. And I think I appreciate that about it. He's a single father. That's also great about it. Representation for single dads. We hardly ever get to see that. So, yeah.
And then we have Stacy, the new girl in town. And through Stacy, we get to see illness, diabetes, and how, you know,
how people live with disabilities and illnesses.
Yeah, and then how kids aren't the only ones that fear that kind of bullying in school, because her parents were trying to hide it from everyone.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's like everything that you experience in school, being fearful, like, oh my God, like, I don't want to tell anyone this, they're going to make fun of me. You kind of still feel those things.
As you grow older.
As you grow older.
For sure.
So. And finally, we have Cali girl Dawn. So Dawn is, I guess, the actual new girl, because she was the last one to join the crew. She moved from California again. And, you know, her mom is recently divorced. But we see, you know, she gets to see her dad. And that's something that Christy doesn't have the privilege of doing. I don't really see, like, a lot of problems with her except that her mom is insane. Her mom is
Her mom's all over the place.
Her mom is all over the place.
Sure.
But I feel like a lot of people can relate. A lot of people are kind of have to step in and kind of be the adult, I guess, in their house.
Yeah,
because their parents aren't able to. So
that's, again, positive representation on that aspect.
Yeah.
So we have all of that amazing positive rep in just the book series, and the Netflix show ended up actually elevating it a couple of notches. They made Marianne half black in the show, which is great. They also made Dawn an indigenous Latina, which is also amazing. In terms of other kind of issues of representation that the show brought up, they had the episode Marianne Saves the Day, and in that episode Marianne actually babysits a transgender kid, and I thought that was really nice.
Yeah. And the way she stood up for her at the hospital, like, hello, stop looking at your charts, this is not a boy, open your eyes, like, and I really liked that episode.
A lot of the episodes were a little different from the books, but I personally have no issues with the things they changed. There was actually a little twist they added to Claudia and Mimi's relationship. It was kind of surprising because you weren't expecting that if you were a fan of the books. Like, you were expecting what happened to her, but you weren't expecting the way they treated it. And I thought that was also important to bring out to the forefront and kind of remind people of.
And Japanese internment camps aren't something that is on mainstream media all the time, you know?
For sure. It's one of those things that you learn in school briefly, but no one really brings it up ever again. And I think that's something that we should work on. Like, we shouldn't try to just brush over the blemishes of the past of our country.
100%. So for context, in the books, Mimi actually has a stroke and dies. Again, it wasn't part of the retro set, but we looked it up. In the show, Mimi is actually not born in Japan. They say she was born in the United States, and that she, at the age of 4 or 5, I think,
something like that,
was placed with her family in a Japanese internment camp. And when she had the stroke, she didn't die. She just kind of forgot all of her present memories and was stuck in the internment camp. Claudia herself had no idea.
For sure.
So, and it just goes to show, like, we are leaving it in the past, and we can't leave it in the past. We have to bring it up.
In terms of Stacy, what we see is that, unlike the books, in the show, she actually tries to own her illness, and she actually tries to live with it instead of just trying to, like, compartmentalize it and put it in a box and, like, forget it exists. So.
And you see how her parents are a lot less controlling of her disease, because in the books, they just did whatever her parents wanted, and they took her to a million doctors, and they kept it hidden. And in the show, she has a meeting with a bunch of parents and says, so I have diabetes.
And I liked how they showed, like, yeah, she has diabetes, but she's just as capable as all of the other girls to take care of your children, to help them with their homework, to play with them. And in the show, when they go away to Camp Moosehead, I don't know if this was in the books because it wasn't in the book.
Yeah, but I think they have a separate book series about, like, their summers or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, they go to Camp Moosehead. At first, they're kind of having a rough time because they're all in different cabins and they're separated and things aren't working out the way they planned. But eventually they all find their own little, like, niche in the camp. Like, Claudia and Dawn get really involved in trying to make the camp a more equal experience in the show, and I thought that was pretty cool. And they organized a whole protest. It's really important to, like, show kids that they should get involved and they should speak up for things they believe.
So overall, I think the books were great. Having read all of the issues that they go through and growing up knowing that, it kind of would have helped kind of navigate life as
girlhood.
Yeah.
So, and the show was a good way. A lot of people were writing, like, whole articles about how it was a great way to go back to your childhood and kind of reminisce in these crazy times that we're living today. So I think it was a good way to just
remember,
have some fun.
And also, it was a great way to bring the Babysitters Club to this new generation. So that was our video for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope that you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below letting us know which member of the Babysitters Club you are.
And if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe. The button's down below as well.
Follow us on Instagram. It's right here on the screen, and we always link it down below as well. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.